Hi everyone and welcome to this week's WARNO devblog. Today it's all about the operations in the Operations First Look. These are the single player narrative driven missions. Operations are playable as one-off missions that can be imagined as sitting in between tutorials and the strategic army general campaign in terms of length, depth and their place in the fictional World War III scenario. Each operation focuses on a specific battle or combat event set in West Germany during our conflict, highlighting actions from both sides, and today we are detailing the first 5, not necessarily in chronological order. So what are operations? So a little bit of explanation, I guess. As you know, the base game of WARNO is focused on CENTAG's area of operations, including the Fill the Gap, while our Army General campaign will give you the ability to experience an operational level of the conflict. The operations zoom in on specific battles, which occur across our 2-week period in the latter part of June 1989. Whereas the tutorials can be little vignettes of the very beginning of the war with different but at times recurring call signs, locations, units and characters, operations take a wider but still detailed perspective. Army General, on the other hand, will give a bird's eye view of the various large-scale attacks and counteroffensive which occurs in the fictional timeline. The next subheading is some considerations. So a major difference with the predecessor Steel Division 2's historical battles is that WARNO's operations will only be playable by one or the other side, not both. Why is that? Well, in Steel Division 2 we ran into developmental roadblocks when balancing historical battles to be playable for both sides, made worse if we increased the number of players, be it AI or humans, single player or online, and instead we wanted to focus on creating the best experience as much as possible, really polishing and making each operation shine. That is why each of the missions only focuses on one side of the battle. On the other hand, it means most operations have unique mechanics, battle group compositions, and other special features. Next heading is what can you expect? We currently aim to have X operations in WARNO, they say. I think they've either missed the number or they mean 10, I'm not sure. But this will be at the official launch out of early access. We can reveal details of the first 5 of them. Note that operations are still work in progress and the list is roughly in chronological order. First up is the Kitzingen Ruse. In this exciting operation you take command of the VDV 900th Air Assault Battalion, part of the Soviet 8th Guards Army, in a surprise strike against the city of Wurzburg in one of the very first actions of the war. Your mission is to establish a bridgehead on the River Main and hold against the mass counter-attacking NATO forces, chiefly West German but also American, as you wait for reinforcements. Will it be a bridge too far, or are you going to bring everlasting glory to the VDV and the USSR? It all depends on how you execute the hard-to-realize defense in depth, prioritizing which command zones to hold, which reinforcements to drop, and more. The second mission they've listed here is the Black Horse's Last Stand. So we all know the American 11th Armored Cavalry Regiment with the 1st Squadron were being based in Fulda was predicted to receive the brunt of the Warsaw Pact offensive into CENTAG. Well, we made that happen and then some. Fulda was pretty much lost after a day, but the 11th ACR was not completely annihilated. As a matter of fact, some of the remaining forces performed heroic defensive actions stemming the enemy invasion for as long as possible. One of these so-called Black Horse's Last Stand occurred in the Kingsing Valley near Bad Orb. You won't have much time as you have to defend against an overwhelming Soviet steamroller pushing through the valley. Still, with some German territorial reinforcements and helpful A-10 air support, you might have a chance to hold back the enemy long enough. The next mission is Red Judgment. Comrade Commander, you lead heroic tankmen of the Red Judgment operation all the way to the gates of Frankfurt. Foolish NATO thinks it can make a new defensive line near Hanau, but the might of the 79th Tank Division will surely prove too much. So Red Judgment is a mission of maneuver and attack, and to keep going even against stiffening resistance. You'll have a sizable force at your disposal, but the command zones to be captured increase with distance, meaning that the toughest battles will be at the end of the operation. And the fourth mission in this list is Gotterdammerung. We focus on the National Volksarmee, specifically the East German 11th Motsuchen Division, as it is defending the southern flank of the offensive into West Germany, blocking NATO counterattacks. The East Germans must perform successful rearguard action to preserve the forces on the outskirts of Bamberg. Like the Black Horse's Last Stand, this is a defense in-depth operation, but with some special mechanics. You can deploy in defense zones across a large valley floor, but they cannot be recaptured once lost. And trust us, with all the fighting that's going to happen, you'll be pushed back to the crucial hill pass, which you and your forces will need to defend. And then the final mission, or operation indeed, is the Backhand Blow, an operation that focuses on NATO counter-offensive north of Hanau, aimed at breaking the mass of Soviet armor threatening Frankfurt. This mission will see the 3rd Armored Division perform a lightning strike with lots of tanks against the Soviets. Once again, the map is big, and the command zones need to be taken very quickly if you want a chance of success. Furthermore, the Soviet deployment zones are closer than yours, meaning they have an advantage in positioning. Let's see if NATO's superior firepower and mobility can inflict a devastating defeat on Ivan. And that is the end of the devblog. They say see you on the battlefield. As ever, for those without Instagram, I'll stick a couple of their Instagram images at the end of the video. But otherwise, at this point, thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Stay tuned for more WARNO videos and other games with a strategy focus. I hope you all have a great weekend.